few minutes late, but we're good. We are live.
Oh, did you go live
I
already?
did. I went live. We're waiting for Laura to join us, but in the meantime, I want to welcome everybody who did show up today or is going to show up today. It is August. No,
It's not August.
it's not August. It's September. I'm going to hand the camera to Kate so she can get it in place. And hopefully this time things are going to work. Hi, Eileen. Good to see you. Good to have you. So hopefully we sent the email to Laura and she got it and she is going to show up. In the meantime, like I said, it's September 18th, 2023. It is a rainy day here in Northampton. I'm just trying to keep an eye on who's showing up. Hi, Terry. Hi, Catherine. Okay, I will be here on Saturday as well. Here she is. All right, that means that things worked. Hi, Laura.
Hi there.
Good to have you with us again.
Thank
We
you
have,
for
we have
inviting
people,
me.
we have people showing up. Kate, you want to turn the radio off? And we worked hard this time, guys, on trying to figure out just what having a guest means on YouTube Live and how to save it. So today's show will end up on the Northampton Wools YouTube channel, which is inside Northampton Wools under the playlists. That's the only place it can go. It can't go in our regular live list because YouTube creates its own separate URL for it. So it will always show up under playlist. So Kate's going to watch the comments so that I don't look like the stretched giraffe all the time trying to read them through bifocals. So we're really excited to welcome Laura back. She's got some great things to show us. And I wanted to show you guys that I put this clasp on my butterfly shawl. And Kate, you have to show yours off because she did a side thing.
It's a triangle shawl.
And put them through both
Look
layers
at that.
of the fabric. So that,
Interesting.
it's a basic triangular shawl and has the center line on the side. And then she overlapped the two sides on her other arm, keep turning, right there, and put the buckle through both pieces. So now even if the back tail falls forward, she still has coverage and can still use her arms. So we've been playing. And we are excited.
Doing that kind of style it in the front and then rotate a quarter turn is actually one of my favorite ways to do a triangular shawl in particular, because I think it changes the look. It makes it look more kind of contemporary and sleek. And it gives you full range of motion. While managing the behavior of the shawl.
And look at that drape in the front. Oh my gosh. Move our sample out of the way. Look what happens when we don't worry about the tails. Look at how pretty. No, don't turn around.
Oh, not that
right
part.
Here. I'm talking about this part right here. Look how pretty that looks.
It's like a waterfall.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, you get that kind of, all of those lines of the shawl then are kind of creating these sort of soft diagonals on the sides that are really pretty. It's a very graceful shape that gets created.
I just love that this part of my arm will always be covered because that's what gets cold.
And you know the line of your of the center back on the other side, the other arm, that line where the stitches come together in a V on the side is just gorgeous. Yeah, it looks really beautiful.
I'm excited to see all the different ways we can design.
We can use this. So we've been selling a lot of Laura's designs, especially the buttons that we have, Kate pulled this out. This is her, um,
Yeah, that looks good.
this
It
is her
looks so
shawl with
good.
the gold on it. That Laura talked about having that long tail drape last time that she was with us. And the gold just really fits perfectly on that one. That's her temperance shawl, by the way.
And the gold, you have this brass is what's on
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Laura's going to show us some ways to style the different shaped shawls. So I'm going to turn it over to her completely and
Well,
comment
now I
once in a
wanted
while.
to ask you a question
Sure.
because earlier in our email correspondence, you said something about wanting ideas about a wraparound style. And I wanted some clarification on what you meant by that. I wasn't sure.
So one of the things that I saw in your booth was now I do need that one or that one.
I can tell you about triangles a lot. Let's talk about
Yeah.
this one.
So we have this rectangle. I was just going to hang it up there.
That's not going to work. She's not.
But I saw you do a few things like that. You know, where it was the piece was wrapped around the body, not just straight down. And I thought that might be something fun for people to see too, is how to position either the buttons or the clasps in something that they felt really needed to be around their neck. And the other, take that one off. The other thing I just saw one of my friends, this I hope is big enough to do it, this is a triangle, but more of a crescent shaped shawl where she did do
like a double wrap.
that, but if she had something held there. She didn't, she just had it wrapped. But I thought, yeah, that really needs that security of one of your pieces to go from there.
And we have a rectangular one we'd like to try.
So that's what I was thinking about.
Okay. So maybe I'll just start with that situation that you just described, where the one part is thrown over the shoulder. Yeah, so one of the issues with that particular styling is it's a vulnerable styling because the part that you've thrown over the shoulder will tend to want to come back down off of the shoulder. Right? So
Yep.
you'll throw it over the shoulder. But you'll lean or you'll do something
And there you go.
Down.
Falls apart.
So you're always throwing it back over the shoulder, which is fine. We get used to that. We get used to that process, and we've got the move. We've got the choreography. We're that throw. But it takes up brain space. Even if we're used to that brain space being taken up, it's unnecessary suffering. This is what I call quiet suffering. It's because we're used to it that we don't, we kind of like in a vague sort of way, oh, I wish this would just stay up on my shoulder. But, you have that, it's a chronic kind of agitation that's very low level, quiet. And so one way to resolve it then is with the buttons that we've been talking about, these stud components that go through all the layers and then have a leather backing that goes on to secure that closure. So you can do that with this kind of styling. A lot of people use a shawl pin. I guess I'll just start there and talk about, a shawl pin is a reasonable, customary solution to this problem. Placing the shawl pin. I'll come back to the stud buttons in a minute. So that's the shawl pin. Problem solved, right? No, problem is not solved. The reason the problem is not solved is this closure is on the front, but this piece has been thrown over the shoulder and you want it to stay there. You don't want it to do this, which is what it's going to do over and over, right? So, I lean down and I I start working, and this is what happens. I moved in I did two or three little moves just now. I'll do it again. Lean over, turn to the side, so yeah, it's vulnerable. You still are going to be throwing the piece over the shoulder. So one solution to that, if you really are committed to a shawl pin as the ornament, the real solution is to take one of these components and put it here. If you put the closure
Oh,
here,
yeah, look at that.
then you really are solving the problem.
Maybe it's the rain.
So now I have a closure here. Let's see, I might still need a little more, or it might not be in exactly the right place. So then if I do my 2 or 3 little moves, I lean down, and it's like reaching up and crossing over. So
Pretty good.
It came down a little bit, but not completely. So maybe I need another one right here. Right here. I'll try it.
So maybe if you want to have it, is it better to use one of the circle clasps in this situation?
One of
The
these?
circle closures?
One of the circle closures?
One of these.
Oh,
like we know
the
we can
sort
put
of a ring closures.
Now we can put it here. I want to
Well,
try that.
if what you want is to have the piece over the shoulder, that's kind of what I'm trying to think through, is like, if you really want this look, how do you do it so that it works, so that it stays secure? So I just added one more closure here. So maybe that'll work.
Okay.
No, it
Yeah.
still doesn't. Okay, so let's just say that that's always going to be a problem. I'll show you a different solution to the same or very, very similar look that actually does kind of get you out of that rogue and always wanting to creep back off your shoulder. And that is to tuck the end that's going back that way, to tuck it under instead of throwing it over.
And that's our first inclination, isn't it? To just wrap it and throw it over.
To do that. That feels easy. Well, it's only easy just like, I mean, it seems easy, right? But it's easy that you have to, it's like easy over and over and over.
Yep.
So if you want easy over and over and over, then maybe question. But if you want easy one time, that's going to be better. Because then what I have to manage is this right here. Because this is the part that's going to want to stray.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I can just control it here. And now the shawl pin is really going to work. Now it's really going to be truly effective, not just ornamental, but fully functional in keeping this in place.
So we could probably just use
one
button.
Yeah.
So now this sort of like,
So we just put one button
it's still here.
Yep.
You can do that too. You can use one button. Just one tiny little component.
Cute. I really want to see what happens with the rectangle. We've got this really cool new sample in the store.
Oh, the color blocking is great.
And rectangular. We've done a lot of triangles and points. Maybe we could style the rectangle.
And if you want to do it in that same way of like having that look of being thrown casually over the shoulder while actually being tucked carefully under, you can do that. The buttons that I'm using right now are my modern ornate that I don't have in inventory yet. I'm still trying to work out whether I'm going to bring out the glossy. This is the glossy or the satin. And we have until the 20th, next few days, to make a decision.
Oh, what's it gonna be?
I really like them.
So these are the glossy. So Linda, in order to order these for your shop, if you want both finishes, because this is the glossy, see how it's
Yeah.
reflecting the light? This is the satin. So this is satin.
I like that too.
And then this is glossy. Hey, can I?
Yeah, we can see
they're
it.
showing up nicely. Well, let's ask anybody that's watching, what would you prefer? Glossy
Yeah, I'll show you right next to each other. See, the main
not
difference
glossy?
is the motifs are exactly the same.
Yeah.
The main difference is the reflectivity. You see how the metal, the appearance of the metal, because of the difference in the way it reflects light, it looks, it has a different appearance.
Yeah. So go ahead and type it in, everybody. Glossy, or what are you calling the other one? Matte?
Glossy or satin.
Satin. Glossy or satin. Yes, Eileen, you do need both.
So here's how it's going to work. The most popular finish is what I'm going to bring out. But until the 20th, if you order it, whether it's the most popular or not, I will fill those orders.
Oh, all right.
So if you're, and it's looking like satin, just to let you know, it's looking like satin. So if there are glossy lovers in the audience and you're ready to make a commitment to get this, then tell Linda so she can order it.
Exactly. Exactly.
This is how I'm figuring, I decided, like, having somebody vote, it's a pre-order.
Yeah.
The pre-order is the vote. Having someone say which one they like is different than saying, I'm committing. I'm committing to glossy or I'm committing to satin. It's a little different. So that's how this is my experiment to figure out, what's going to be more, what people want.
I'm not surprised that our customers are going more for satin than for the glossy, because that tends to be our vibe, right?
It's a big shawl. It needs a big one.
Oh, with the Cordoba ring closure, that's pretty.
Yeah.
So with that piece, one thing I find is the quarter turn move that you made earlier works beautifully with that closure as well. So I happen to have one right here. So let's try it. And then I want to, I don't think you've ordered this product, but your customers might like it. And so I'll show it to you. I created the Women's Wealth as a closure. I've had it as a shawl cuff for a while. And I made it into a closure as well because the component is so interesting. And that one's a really beautiful one too.
Yeah, I was looking at the website this morning before I emailed you, and I was like, oh man, you have so many beautiful pieces now.
So here's that quarter turn move with this closure, where you style it in the front and then you rotate it a quarter turn. So that closure ends up right in the hollow of your shoulder and then just sort of drapes over the arm. So you've got full range of motion on the side. And then you get these really great diagonals, which in that piece, because you've got so many triangles and angles, having the piece styled on the side like that, I think would be very interesting.
It really shows.
Yeah, look how fabulous that looks.
So let's see how it drapes a little bit.
Yeah, it looks so good.
There's your arm.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
that's
turn that
brilliant.
around then.
That's cool.
Look at that back.
Wow.
Oh, it looks just, you know, that green shape creates almost like a yoke that just
Yes.
looks really, it's very dynamic. I think this kind of diagonal, this kind of quarter turn styling with this sort of piece is really interesting.
Oh my gosh.
And you know, you can really put just about any closure. You can use a shawl pin. You can use the spring gate ring closures like this quarter of a ring closure. I'm gonna just put on.
So you can have it open, or you could.
Yeah, take that.
Yeah, it's a little bit open, and so this is the women's wealth closure.
Oh,
so
wow,
it's
look at that.
screwed into the sides here, right? But then look, it's got snaps. I put snaps in the tabs, so it'll work perfectly for like a cardigan.
Oh.
As well as for a shawl. I have it over here on a neck warmer. I'll show you in a second. And this is just a really, it's just such an exciting piece. This women's wealth component is originally an ornament that ethnic Chinese Miao women used to hold their handmade textiles onto their bodies. So their textiles and these massive silver ornaments are their wealth.
Wow.
And so it seems fitting, really, to have a component, a closure, that's celebrating that that wealth that gets displayed on women's bodies in the form of their handmade textiles.
Yes.
Because you're making your textiles.
Exactly.
So it's
Value it.
So there's that piece.
Cute.
Totally different kind of look, right?
Yeah.
We go from like the sleek, glossy spring gate ring, which also lets you get in and out of it, right? This is how you get in and out of this one. But the women's wealth one, you open and close with those snaps. After you screw it in, you can get in and out of it by opening up these snaps.
So what we did with the rectangle now was I put that side under and the back over, and then Kate just held this closure up.
I like how it's matched
like that.
up.
Yeah, look at that gorgeous shape. I'm so glad you're definitely thinking in compositional terms. Yeah.
Yeah, because it matches up with the dark right here.
So I know. So you have a wonderful shape
and that's,
that you're creating.
Yeah.
That's where you should put a
And then
bright
folding
one.
all that, yeah, it should be bright.
Then you put a really bright one, like right on your.
Not right on your boob.
No,
but,
but something bright would be fun to like mimic this.
Yeah, these shaped ones.
Yeah, you've got the triangles there. You've got the squares. See, this is what I love about those mid-century modern shapes is that you can echo the forms and geometry that begin to emerge in the styling. Echo those in the shape of the closure.
Yeah.
What happens if we, with the shapes? What happens if we put this side under and this side forward?
Oh, look at that!
A whole bunch of different shapes.
Yeah, the way that those black shapes are interacting is fabulous.
Yeah.
So this shawl that you guys are seeing for the first time as well is a new design this year, and Bonnie just finished knitting it, so she dropped it off.
Oh,
so thank you, Bonnie. And now I think everybody should have one of these in their repertoire or in their wardrobe because you can do a lot with this.
I love it. I love it how you're creating those different compositions of shapes on the body.
Yeah, that is very cool.
This is the thing that I love about the stud buttons is that they don't have the screws, which end up just
They disappear.
this is like,
I might have to order a couple of screws.
that's fine. You know, you have to try them. I always want to try them over a table.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we've learned.
Yeah, because they do drop out of your fingers. The other thing I've done recently, I think you asked me about this, was the shawl cuffs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I also have the women's wealth as a shawl cuff, so I wanted to show that to you. Because this shape, this women's wealth component is just so stunning.
I think we're going to have to get a couple of those.
They're so beautiful. They're really just so dramatic. And I always have customers say, I want to wear it as a bracelet, and you absolutely can.
Yeah.
The strap is 15 inches long from tip to tip, and so that makes it about 14 something when it's finished, when it has the snap in it, because the snap takes up 3/8 and 3/8, so 3/4 of an inch gets taken up. So it's 14 1/4 inches, which, you know, these and the leather straps stretch. So that can work for a lot of people for a bracelet. And if you need a different size, then you just let me know and I can make it
Okay.
fit. So that's what that looks like as a shawl cuff. It's really gorgeous, right?
Really gorgeous.
Yeah. It's just not a cuff.
Marcia, this is the Kinsale. It's Kinsale yarn from Trendsetter. And yes, we will have kits put together for it of all the different colors with the pattern.
So what is the weight of that yarn?
It is a worsted weight, and it's a good solid worsted weight. It's not wimpy, but it is their new tweed this year from Trendsetter.
It's beautiful.
Okay, look at that.
Oh, look at that. You know, I think two closures, if you had two, would be even better. Because then you see how it's like opening up at the bottom just a little bit.
Right
if you had two, then you could control that behavior completely. Oh dear.
Heavy.
And I guess it's like a personal preference if you want to put a big and a small or two big.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, I think two big ones would be really fabulous.
And you could do the three buttons.
You could.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, and I'm actually thinking like if you had the ancient geometry, like doing 3 square ancient geometries on the front because of all those kind of tooth-like intrusions of the dark color into the light color, that this piece could be really nice on there. When I was recently at the Affinity Retreat, Patty Lyons Affinity Retreat, which was fabulous. I don't know if any of you who are listening have ever participated in that, but wow, it was amazing. I, of course, was a vendor, so I didn't go to any of the classes, but just the facility and the energy and people, it was just a wonderful, and the other vendors, it was a wonderful opportunity, and I had a great time. And I was wearing, for a while, this piece styled like this, which I ended up finding really comfortable. I styled it like this because I was wearing a particular dress that had big spiral motifs on it, a dress that I made, and I wanted to kind of show that off a bit. And so I wore the women's wealth piece, and I didn't want to completely cover up the bodice, so I just wore it like this, and I'll show you what it looked like. It ended up being, I wore it all day like that, and it was great. I loved it.
Wow.
It was super comfortable, not too hot, because we were inside the venue, and sometimes it felt a little warm, and sometimes it felt a little cool, as it does this time of year, you know.
Yes.
And,
do you do the Rhinebeck show, Laura?
I'm doing Woolen Folk.
Yep. Which is, for those of you who don't know what Woolen Folk is, it is the same time that Rhinebeck is, just not in the Rhinebeck
Well, it's
actual
the
run?
day before,
The
so
day
it's
before.
Friday.
Right.
It's Friday, so if you're going to Rhinebeck and you want to do something on Friday also, Woolen Folk is open. So these are vendors like me who don't do Rhinebeck. And so you're getting a different population. It's
Yeah.
not just the same people. It's different people who will be vending at Woolen Folk. And it's in an orchard
Right.
outside. I've never done it before. I'm curious. I think there are a couple of hours where it's open on Thursday night and then it's open on Friday.
Friday.
And then, I met some women who are vending at Rhinebeck, and I want to see like Long Island something. She might take Jul to Rhinebeck. Oh, I'll have to put it up on my. Look at that. See
That's
that?
fabulous.
So this is what I was wearing
You
during
got it,
this
Marcia.
event, and it was really. I think it looks great. It's
So
it's an
cool.
unconventional styling, but I love the way this shape looks on this black top.
Yeah.
I think that that triangle kind of pointing to saying, "Look,
Yeah.
look at this fabulous closure."
And if you were at an event with a nice dress, it would be like a tucking piece. Yeah.
That's great.
So wow, look what you're doing to that piece. That looks so amazing.
Oh, I love it.
I love that you've been styling it and changing it around, really sensitive to the composition that you're creating with all of those different
Yeah.
diagonals and sort of, it's not a horizontal, although it sort of reads like a horizontal. It is just a soft diagonal, the line of that dark shape against the gray. And that whole energy of the line leading up to the closures, leading up to the shoulder, leading up to the face. If you were wearing it, it would be that dark shape would go right up to your face.
Cool.
It's amazing. And none of this is planned.
No.
It wasn't designed so that when you wear it, everything lines up. It's just a design. And
Right.
the picture on the pattern doesn't look anywhere near as good as this, as
You
usual.
know, this is my perennial complaint about knitwear design, is that the designers are not paying attention to that.
Yeah.
They're thinking about their work in 2 dimensions. It's a flat plane
A flat piece.
that's visually interesting, sort of in this, this end is not relating to this end. But of course, as soon as you put it on, these 2 ends are in relationship to one another.
Exactly.
So, when you're selecting your knitwear projects, I encourage you to think, okay, there's coral on this end and teal on that end, or coral here and gold here. Do I like coral and gold together? Because when I wrap this around my body, coral and gold are going to be
Right.
in direct relationship to one another. And if that color combination doesn't work for you, then you're going to be like, oh, what do I do about this? Those if so, I suppose one method that you could deploy is Xerox the knitwear flat onto a little piece of paper and cut it out, and then start wrapping it around as if you're wearing it. What does it look like? What do those colors do when you put them next to each other? There's a book, and I don't know if I'll be able to find it evenly.
So you could sort of plan your project on paper and decide, oh, maybe I want to put this contrast color a little farther down or a little farther up so that it meets in a certain way. It's kind of like a little paper doll.
I'm trying to see. I know I have a book that's all about color. It's
back and forth. It's called
and
it will come as an attachment to the email. Okay.
anyway, the author is Albers,
Mm-hmm.
and he did a course on color. And what you get in this, it's a little slender volume. And what is it called? Invention of, what is it? interaction of color. I know it's here somewhere. My whole, like, my clothing design, whatever, you know, history and fashion stuff, it's all right here. Oh, it should be right here. Interaction of color, I think it's called. And the author is Albers, and he really goes through a series of exercises that, because it was a class.
Got it.
He goes through a series of exercises.
Hey Laura, we have a question about the yarn you used for the shawl you've been showing us today.
Yeah. This one?
Yeah, what yarn, what weight yarn, or what type of yarn?
Okay, this is a fingering weight yarn.
Okay.
It's a merino with a little bit of nylon.
Okay.
Superwash. It's a superwash.
Mm-hmm.
It's Seven Sisters Arts.
Mm-hmm.
She's in Maine. Karen Grover is her name.
Okay.
And this color is called Vireo.
Vireo.
I don't know if you can really see it well. It's got like a little bit of green, a little bit of gold, some gray. She was inspired by the colors of the bird, the vireo.
Oh, I see. And so the name, do you have a name for that shawl? Is it Vireo?
No, that's the yarn.
Right.
The shawl is it's my design that I haven't released. I'm looking for a pen. So
you haven't released it yet? Well, we have some people commenting and asking about it.
Yeah, it's something I do need. I'm working on it, but I'll tell you why it's taking me so long to release this pattern. It's because I know better than anyone, I think, because I've just thought about this stuff so much, that even though shawls don't have size, the scale matters.
What was that?
The scale of a shawl matters, even though shawls aren't sized.
Right.
And so this shawl fits me because I made it for me. So the whole thing is referring to my body. So if you like the way it's styled on me, which is partly what you're responding to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your size is, and the scale of your body is different.
Right.
Like I know that I have very narrow shoulders and a small back. I have a friend who's like a little shorter than me, kind of roughly the same body size, but much broader shoulders. And my shawls, this style looks a little bit funny on her because it looks too small. It doesn't cover her shoulders in the same way. And so I need to figure out recipes so that you can adjust it based on the width of shoulders, depth from here to here,
to get the right proportion.
To wrap around, this kind of thing. So it's
we'll keep an eye on your account if you post that you've finished the pattern so that we can direct everyone there.
Yeah, thank you. I'll show you what the shape is though.
All right, we're at 112.
Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the shape, and I started here.
Very small. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I started with 2 stitches. So for those expert knitters in the audience, I started with 2 stitches and increased every 12 stitches, and then every 10, and then every 8, and then every 6, and like that until my increase rate was every other row up through here until I ran out of yarn and felt like. So this is where.
Well, you are so precise in your dimensions that I'm really looking forward to a recipe from you for a shawl to make it fit.
So this is where I wear it. So this is my head, right? Mm-hmm. My head and shoulders are here. Because I bring this down and this down when I wear it. So the relationship across here has to be
I see.
referring to the shoulder width. Yeah, so it's just
okay, cool.
Well, thank you, Laura. We need to go because I have a person here that I need to talk to, but I'm sure everybody, thanks, Kate. Everybody has really enjoyed seeing you again, and we look forward to doing it even more.
Yeah, and for those of you who want to vote on the closures,
Yeah,
place your pre-orders with Linda.
exactly. And I hope we see you all in here this week to take a good look at this one and see how we've styled it for the rest of this week.
That is a fabulous piece.
Yeah, it really is.
Excellent.
All
Excellent
right,
piece.
thank you. We'll see you again.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody, and go knit something.